How are you, beautiful, 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 beautiful creations doing today? I hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. I am so honored and thankful for Samuel to just come up with this fun and interesting collab idea. I feel like sometimes we kind of like focus on how we're gonna like, personal attention for you guys and how we're gonna give you some positive affirmations and all these like really amazing and thoughtful stuff. And sometimes, you need to have a little fun with ASMR. So that's what Samuel did. So in today's clip that I have given to Samuel, he has asked us to say our favorite movie or TV show or both, and speak of why we like it and any quotes that we like from it. Now, my movie that I picked out is a franchise. It is Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. 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 Harry Potter. Harry Potter. And I don't have any like one specific one that I like. If you like Harry Potter, like you can't just like one. You gotta like all of them. Like, well, no, I want to say you gotta like all of them. You have to at least watch all of them to know what is going on. But I absolutely love Harry Potter. I would take out my Harry Potter wand and do some triggers with that. But I actually just moved into my house, so everything's kind of still backed up, and we're trying to gradually unload. But Harry Potter is so amazing. I remember when I first saw Harry Potter. I was a little kid, and we were walking in Target, and I ended up going to the like aisle that you check out at, and there was a DVD section, and right in front of my eyes there was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and it looked like intriguing. I liked wizard, like magic type movies. I thought it was cool. I was a kid, and my dad was like, yeah, let's go for it. I remember going into my room, my cluttered toy room, my bedroom, and sitting in front of my, now this is like way back then, like in early 2000s, with my little tiny square TV, very small, it wasn't a flat screen. There was no flat screens like that were really popular. It was a tiny, like I'm telling you, this big of a TV, and I remember just sitting down and watching it, and I loved it instantly. And then the second one, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I ended up going to the theaters to go see that, and then every movie after that I saw. And the very last Harry Potter movie, the last Harry Potter movie, I got to see it the day before it came out in theaters because I won a contest thing, whatever, on the radio, and I watched it, bawled my eyes out with it. But I can't really pick a quote because I find like all the quotes are so great, but every Dobby quote is French kiss. Oh my gosh. I meant chef's kiss. You know what? I'm not even gonna edit that out because that's wicked funny. Chef's kiss. Yeah, so, oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, every Dobby quote is great, especially when he's like, Master has given Toby a sock. Toby is free. Oh, he's so cute. But that is all. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you soon.
this morning, and I believe it's one of the little vampire guys, and it's just, I don't know, it's always been my favorite. Like, I would probably say that about all of these, but that movie's so nostalgic for me. Like, I can recite the entire movie by heart, and it's just so funny to me the way they say it. Did anyone think to dredge the lake? He sounds so like morose and like fed up, and it's just funny because it's like they're having such a fit because it's 364 more days until Halloween, and God forbid they can't find Jack in time, you know. And so that brings me to my next quote, where the mayor and the wolfman go back and forth, and one says, "There's only 365 days left until next Halloween," and the wolfman goes 364. I don't know why I find a lot of the little jokes funny, but I think it's my nostalgia. And then the last one that I'm going to quote is, "You're joking, you're joking. I can't believe my ears. Would someone shut this fellow up? I'm drowning in my tears." And that is from Oogie Boogie, and I just like that Oogie Boogie song because he's touched on throughout the movie, but that's like the biggest part that he has, and that Oogie Boogie song is so good, cause I'm a gambling boogeyman, you know I don't play fair. Like, I just love that song so much. But I'm gonna go ahead and bring it to the next ASMRist. Thank you again, Samuel, for including me, and a lot of love to you and all of the other ASMRists in this collab. Thank you so much.
Hey there everyone. Today I'm going to talk about two of my favorite movies and one of my favorite TV shows of all time. But we're going to play a little bit of a guessing game, so I'm going to show you something that reminds me of that movie or show, and I'm going to give you a quote. And there'll be a couple seconds where I'm just kind of playing with the object for you to guess, but you'll get the answer pretty quickly, of course. So, here we go. So I have what I have. This isn't the best representation of this movie, but I've got this scarf. It's kind of gives off the vibe of the movie. And my quote for this is, "I made you look like a prince on the outside, but I didn't change anything on the inside." Do you have any ideas? This one might be pretty easy. Yeah, so it's Aladdin, and it's the 2019 version. Growing up, Aladdin was always my favorite cartoon as a kid. But since the remake came out, that one's become my new favorite movie of all time, I think, so. And I just thought that the fabrics and the patterns on this scarf kind of gave off the vibe. Okay. My item for the second movie is just some sheet music. Don't pay attention to the actual song, but just sheet music. And my quote is, "The greatest thing you'll ever learn is to love and to be loved in return." Any guesses? That one might not be as easy, but Moulin Rouge with Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor, which I think came out in 2001, and it's just, I don't know what I like about it exactly. Maybe it's done so artistically, and it's so fun at the beginning, but it gets so dark as you go through, and you can't argue with Ewan McGregor's singing voice either, so if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. So that's my second one. And finally, I have this mirror, and you're gonna see yourself. But I've got this mirror, and this quote I just took a picture of off my phone. So my quote for this one is, "Can a magician kill a man by magic? I suppose a magician might, but a gentleman never would." This one might be pretty hard. That one is from the BBC TV show, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I always want to call him Dr. Strange and Mr. Norrell, but it's really cool. It's about English magicians and like the legendary fae, not like fairies and pixies and stuff, but like the old Irish and English like legends of the fae people. So like the scary version. It's all about them and how English magic is kind of born from it, but then they try to. So anyway, it's really, really cool, and they bring a lot of fae lore into it, and it's just a really great show, and it's on Netflix, so please watch it if you haven't, because it's like literally so good. But those are my favorite TV shows and movies of all time.
Hello. So, my favorite show, as you can see, I actually have the physical copies. Like, who does that anymore? Is American Horror Story. I remember when it first came out, it felt really revolutionary to me because most of the success of horror media was only in film, and it hadn't really quite made the leap into television. But one of the really cool things about this series is that with every new season, they, ditch everything from the last season. They have a brand new concept, brand new characters, everything. So this is always feeling fresh, always new. That being said, the newness is really magical in the first 3 seasons of the show. Even though each season has a new storyline, they keep pretty much the same group of actors, kind of like a theater troupe, in a way that they would travel and put on different production. So season 1 is Murder House. The one thing about the dead is they've got nothing left to lose. So this first season, it's kind of your more traditional ghost story kind of tale. A family with one daughter moved to a new house in hopes to kind of mend their relationship, and the house they move into is haunted. It's beautiful though. The house seems to have some kind of curse over it where anyone who dies there is cursed, their spirit to remain there forever. So being kind of an older house, it has a lot of history and is pretty crowded with a bunch of different ghost characters. Season 1 is also known for having some pretty devastating twists, and of course I am forever grateful to be introduced to Sarah Paulson and Jessica Lange. They are legends. Moving on, next we have season 2, Asylum. All monsters are human. So this season is a little more wacky, a little more ambitious, but I love it for that. I mean, all the concepts that they shoved into one season is pretty impressive. We've got Nazis, demonic possessions, the devil, and frank conspiracies, alien abductions, human experimentation. Oh yeah, and to top it all off, there is a psycho serial killer. The story is kind of hard to explain the plot in a concise way, but pretty much a man named Kit Walker is accused of being the serial killer Bloody Face after his wife turns up dead, but he claims that they were both abducted by aliens. Either way, he ends up institutionalized in a church-owned mental asylum called Briarcliff. At the same time, we have a reporter named Lana Winters, my queen, who kind of disguises herself in order to get the scoop on Bloody Face, the killer, but she ends up being trapped there as well, institutionalized for being a lesbian. So this season is my favorite, mostly because of the Lana Winters character. My hat's off to you, Sarah Paulson. This kickstarted my Sarah Paulson obsession, and I'll never get over it. Moving on to season 3, Coven. It's absinthe, drink of the divine, which we are. So in this season, a teenage girl is sent to an all-girl boarding school for witches after she kind of manifests her powers in an incident that ends up killing her boyfriend. And when she gets there, there are other young girl witches. All 3 of them have their own very strong personalities. If you like style, this is the show for you. The fashion, the aesthetics are all on point. It's set in modern times, but it has a lot of different flashbacks throughout the show. Also, the amount of female characters in this season is awesome. And you have a cameo with Stevie Nicks playing herself, and she sings. Like, what more could you want? So when describing American Horror Story, it is just so many things, but one thing you can't call it is boring. And if you're a fan of camp, dark comedy, or horror in general, check it out right away. So yeah, that's gonna be all from me. Thanks for listening to this little ramble. Alright, bye. silly, and it's all filmed from first person's point of view, so you can hear the thoughts of the characters, which is funny. And my favourite character is called Scissorhands, and he's very rude, so not many of his quotes would be appropriate, but my favourite one is, the secret ingredient is crime. 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 Now, of course, I'm not promoting crime, but it's very funny in the show. The secret ingredient is crime. The secret ingredient is crime. I like lots of other TV shows too, like Breaking Bad and Lost, but those two are my favourite. My favourite film is School of Rock, which is so quotable. And my favourite quote is, let's rock today. 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 Thank you for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and I hope you come and see me over on my channel if you would like to. Good night.
Hey there folks, it's Evil Rob here. I would like to thank Samuel for inviting me into this collab today to talk about one of my favourite movies of all time. I'm not exactly a movie buff, not necessarily a fan. I don't watch movies regularly, but it doesn't mean that I don't have favourite movies. And one of my all-time favourite movies has got to be Home Alone, featuring Macaulay Culkin and many other talented actors. It was one of my favourite films of all time, mostly down to nostalgia, I think, more than anything. It was in the 90s, I was growing up, and it takes me back to, Christmas in the 90s, One thing I like about the film is, well, how funny it is, first of all, but also how clever Kevin, the main character in the film, played by Macaulay, and I was just amazed at how, a 7, 8, 9-year-old child home alone could fend off 2 burglars the way he did, setting up traps all over the house, and it was just the funniest but cleverest thing I've ever seen. Some of the traps set were absolutely perfect, and the reactions from the 2 burglars, Harry and Marv, were just hilarious. One of my favourite scenes has to be the pizza boy comes to deliver pizza for Kevin, and just for a laugh he sets up this television with this film. I think it was like a gangster film, and he sets it up as if like there's a gangster living in the house, or the pizza boy thought there was a gangster in the house, and he was saying things like, "Leave it on the doorstep and get the hell out of here," and then it finishes with the gangster shooting this other gangster, and and he's just like, he says, "Keep the change, you filthy animal," you know. And it was just funny watching the pizza boy just like absolutely like leg it out away from the house, thinking he was being shot at. That was one of my favourite. The reaction was so funny. Yeah, great film. A lot going on. There was comedy. There was like scary moments. There was emotional moments. You know, and it was really touching film. You know. And of course, they made Home Alone 2, which I won't go into because we're supposed to only talk about one film. So, but I will give it an honourable mention, and Home Alone 2 was just as good. So, thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of the video. Cheerio.
Hello. Let's talk movies. I have way too many favorites to pick just one. But I can share with you some of the things that I like, some of the shows and movies that I like. My tastes are very eclectic. So, let's start with one of my favorite romance movies. It is Romancing the Stone. From 1984. Showing my age a little with this one. 1984. And it stars Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner. It is a phenomenal romance show. It's got action, it's got romance, it's really cute. One of my favorite comedies that I have ever seen, is The Court Jester. Now, I'm going to show my age even more with this one. This movie was made in 1955. It stars Danny Kaye, who is one of the best comedians that ever lived. Angela Lansbury, a phenomenal actress. One of my favorite actresses. If she is in so many more favorites that I could tell you about. But that's all my time. I hope you enjoyed learning something new about me. Bye, 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 bye.
Hello, lovelies. I'm here to talk about my favorite movies and TV shows, which is really, really difficult to decide. But I think my favorite TV show right now would have to be Lucifer. I really enjoy the snarky sense of humor and the things that everyone gets up to. But I think my favorite quote is actually not a snarky one. It is something the character Amadeus said, which is, when we are being unlovable is when we need the most love. And that really struck a chord with me. I think it's quite true. My favorite movie, I think, growing up at least, probably was Mary Poppins. I loved the magical things that happened and all of the songs. But nowadays, my favorite movie, I think, would have to be Fight Club. Partly because it's so clever and entertaining, but also because it's a movie that I can rewatch over and over, and every time I think I probably realize something or see something new each time I watch it that I may have missed before. There's so much depth to that film, and
Favorite movie, huh? Wow. My favorite movie is not the best movie ever made. I'll tell you that right now. There are plenty of better movies. But ever since I saw it, it has held such a special place in my heart. When I was about 14, my brother and I watched it 10 nights in a row, and let me tell you, we just about had it memorized by the end of that time. So the movie is The Princess Bride. There are so many great lines from that movie, so I'm just going to read you a few of them. So, one of my favorite characters is Vicini, and my favorite line of his is, "You fool, you fell prey to one of the classic blunders, the most famous of which is never get involved in the land war in Asia. But only slightly less well known is this: never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line." And if you've seen the movie, you know that he cracks up laughing and then keels over dead. The next line is probably one that anyone who's ever heard of the movie knows, and that is, "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die." Another favorite character is Miracle Max, the miracle worker. And when Inigo and Bezic bring Wesley in, they think he's dead, but they're hoping for a miracle. So Miracle Max is looking at Wesley on the table and he says, "Turns out your friend here is only mostly dead. See, mostly dead is still slightly alive." Here's another real famous little exchange between Vicini and Inigo. So Vicini says, for about the millionth time, "Inconceivable." And Inigo says, "You keep on using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means." After Wesley is reinvigorated, Buttercup says to him, "But you were dead." And Wesley says, "Death cannot stop true love. All it can do is delay it for a while." Another favorite of mine is when Wesley and Buttercup are in the fire swamp, and Buttercup says, "But Wesley, what about the ROUSs?" And Wesley says, "Rodents of unusual size? I don't think they exist." And of course, he is immediately pounced upon by a rodent of unusual size, which he eventually successfully fights off. Another line from Miracle Max, when his visitors bring up the fact that he was fired, he says, "Thank you so much for bringing up such a painful subject. While you're at it, why don't you give me a nice paper cut and pour some lemon juice in it?" Here's one that Prince Humperdinck says to Count Rugen when the Count invites him to come to the Pit of Despair and watch some torture. He says, "Tyrone, you know how much I love watching you work. But I've got my country's 500th anniversary to plan, my wedding to arrange, my wife to murder, and Gilder to frame for it. I'm swamped." Let's see. Oh, here's one from the beginning of the movie when Buttercup discovers a very important fact about herself. This is the grandfather reading the story to the little boy. "That day, she was amazed to discover that when he was saying, 'As you wish,' what he meant was, 'I love you.' And even more amazing was the day she realized she truly loved him back." Okay, here's my last little exchange, but it's one of my very favorites. It's when Inigo and Bezic are doing their little rhyming game. So, I'll start with Inigo. Here's Bezic. "That Vicini, he can fuss. Fuss, fuss. I think you like to scream at us. Probably he means no harm. He's really very short on charm. You have a great gift for rhyme. Yes, yes, some of the time." Anyway, if you haven't had the chance to see the movie The Princess Bride, I hope you do, and I hope you enjoy it.
watching at the moment. It is called So Beautiful. So the show is on Netflix, but there's two versions of that one on Netflix. There is the Mandarin version, and I think that's the original one. I already saw that one. Right now I am watching the Korean version, and they have, I think, new episodes come out every week, and it's so good. One of my favorite ones of all time, it's called Boys Over Flowers. Boys Over Flowers. Boys Over Flowers. And this one, I believe there's like different versions of them, but my favorite one is the Korean one. That one is so good. It's about this girl who ends up going to like a big school, and there's these four guys who are like really popular, and they're like rivals, and then they all become friends, and she's in love with one of them, but the other main one ends up really liking her. That one's really good and really dramatic. One of my other favorite ones, it's called Good Morning Call. Good Morning Call. Good Morning Call. And that one, I believe it's a Netflix original, and that one is Japanese. I saw this one like a couple of years ago, and I've seen it like 3 or 4 times already, but it's really good. It's basically like the popular guy and some random girl, and they're moving together, and they have to like work it out, and their whole life just begins from there and stuff. Next one, it's one of my like top favorites. I haven't finished watching it, and I know it's gonna continue. It's called True Beauty. True Beauty. I read it on Webtoon, and then they created it into a drama. And if you really want to watch that one, it's not on Netflix, but you can watch it on the website called Viki. If you have a phone, I think you can download the Viki app, or like on Roku, you can download the Viki app as well, but you can also use their website. For a moment, I was really obsessed with Doctor Who, and the fellow Whovians out there. One of the most memorable ones, sorry, sometimes I can't speak, is by Amelia Bond, and I think it's called, the episode I think is called Angels in Manhattan. And so I'm gonna read the very long quote from there. So if you haven't seen Doctor Who, I'm so sorry. Spoilers ahead. I'm just gonna be looking at my iPad over there. Hello, old friend. And here we are, you and me, on the last page. By the time you read these words, Rory and I will be long gone. So know that we live well and we're very happy. And above all else, know that we will love you always. Sometimes I do worry about you though. I think once we're gone, you won't be coming back here for a while, and you might be alone, which you should never be. Don't be alone, Doctor. And do one more thing for me. There is a little girl waiting in the garden. She's going to wait for a long while, so she's going to need a lot of hope. Go to her. Tell her a story. Tell her that if she's patient, the days are coming that she'll never forget. Tell her she'll go to sea and fight pirates. She'll fall in love with the man who will wait 2,000 years to keep her safe. Tell her she'll give hope to the greatest painter who ever lived, and save it well in outer space. Tell her this is the story of Amelia Bond, and this is how it ends. The whole 11th, like Amelia Bond and Rory Williams, like their whole story. It's my favorite, even though I love Rose Tyler and the 10th Doctor. It's just them. I don't know, like, it touches my heart because he knew her. Spoilers ahead. Since she was a child until she basically died. You enjoyed the rest of the discussions, check out my channel, like Sammy's video, leave a comment, and bye-bye.
Hello, how are you? I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much, Sammy, for inviting me to be part of your collab. I appreciate you so much, and you're a star. Never forget it, okay? I only have 5 minutes to tell you about my favorite TV and movies, so let's get right into it. So, my favorite TV show of all time is Mad Men from AMC, and it's the story about Don Draper navigating the life in the 60s of an advertising agency and being art director. So, the reason why I like that TV show the best is the writing and the arc of the characters and the wardrobe and the cinematography, but it's a really good example of character development and being accurate to the 60s, you know, the good parts, the bad parts. So I love that. My second best TV show is one that is called Insecure by HBO, and it was created and written and directed in some episodes by Issa Rae. And it's just hilarious, and nothing makes me laugh more than that show. So that's number 2. And then number 3, my favorite TV show number 3 is Game of Thrones. Without counting the last season, of course. Game of Thrones, at least the first few seasons, were just breathtaking and beautiful and so well done and so well written, and the world that George R.R. Martin created or wrote was truly something that I really enjoyed and resonated with and loved to see and to read. I've also read the book, so I am a really big fan of the series. That's it on TV. And on movies, my favorite movie is Kill Bill. Kill Bill parts 1 and 2. I love Quentin Tarantino, and specifically I love Uma Thurman, because, you know, it's Uma Thurman, and it's just such a badass, like, interesting, rich storyline and character development again, and just, I like part 2 a little bit better than part 1, but every person who's in that movie is just perfection. Love that movie. The music, cinematography, the colors, just everything. I could go on and on. My second favorite movie is Edward Scissorhands. I love that movie. I watch it every year, at least once. I love the music about it. I love the aesthetic, the pastels, the juxtaposition of this dark being and in this, just mansion in the top of the town, and then mixed with like the just cotton candy, just simple-minded neighbors, and it's just very fun, and I just love it so much, and it has a lot of good ASMR moments, so that's really nice too. And then the last of my favorite movies has to be, hands down, Mean Girls. Mean Girls is just perfection in my eyes. I can recite every line of the whole movie. It's just so funny, and it has, Tina Fey, it has a bunch of the SNL cast, and it's just the timing, the actors, the plot, like everything about it makes me so happy. And if you've never seen it in Spanish, you're missing out. It's another experience. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that's it. My favorite TV and favorite movies. I hope that you enjoyed my picks. Thank you again, Sammy, for inviting me. You're an angel. You're an angel. You're an angel. Okay. I'll see you soon, okay? Okay, bye, bye, bye.
Hello, my name is Justin, or Jamma ASMR, and today I'm going to tell you about one of my favorite series. This one happens to be on Netflix. my favorite series is created by one of my favorite directors since he started coming out onto the scene. He made one of my favorite slasher horror movies called Hush, also on Netflix, which is amazing. It's about a woman who lives in like a woodsy area, and she is deaf and mute, and someone tries to basically break into her house, and it all unfolds in an amazing way. He also created another movie called Oculus and a TV show called The Haunting of Hill House, which he is most known for. And the one I'm going to be talking about today is one of my favorites, The Haunting of Fly Manor. Now, if you couldn't tell by that little beginning spiel I did, I quite enjoy a nice little scare from time to time. The Haunting of Fly Manor is, at its core, a horror series, but overall it's more of a story about love and connection, I think. It is amazing at getting a point across and making you feel for the characters and giving each character their own story. It's not like you would just care for one, or you would care for the good guy in the story. You kind of just care for all of them and kind of hope they all get the best for themselves. Now, this has nothing to do with Fly Manor at all, but I'm going to be tapping on this Alien Blu-ray collector's box while we continue talking about the show. So the show is fairly new. It came out, I believe, last year, and it's an amazing show. If you just like storytelling and getting a feel for a whole new environment and being engulfed in a whole different era, it's an amazing show. There's also, so the director, Mike Flanagan, really likes to do hidden things in his shows and movies. So in The Haunting of Hill House and in The Haunting of Fly Manor, there are countless hidden ghosts hidden in the background of all the scenes. And if you keep your eye out in the backgrounds, you will be sure to spot many. The Haunting of Hill House was his first series, which that one was more of a horror kind of grasp to it. That was more horror at its core, where this one isn't as much. So this one also doesn't have as many hidden ghosts as Haunting of Hill House would, but it is still amazing to see and to catch them all. Honestly, after watching the first series and going to Fly Manor, I caught myself not even paying attention to the story half the time and just looking at the backgrounds, trying to find what I could find. And it's nice just to go onto like Twitter or something and compare to see all the things other people saw compared to what you saw. But like I said, if you're not a huge horror watcher, you can definitely still watch it for the story itself. I don't think it's as scary as it's planned out to be. Like, it's advertised more like you're gonna get super scared, but it has the loveliest story. If you end up watching Fly Manor, I hope you enjoy it as much as I did, because it is perfectly splendid. You do give it a watch. Let me know what you think. I mean, I liked it so much I made a whole video about it being one of the ghosts. But thank you so much. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you enjoy all the other recommendations we have for you today. Bye-bye.
Hey everyone. So,
just want to say a big thank you to Sam for organizing all of this, and also for being one of the kindest and most supportive people in the ASMR community. So, thank you so much for this, Sam. Today, I'm going to tell you that my absolute favorite movie of all time is, in fact, Amadeus. Made in 1984, directed by Milos Forman, won the Academy Award for Best Picture that year, as well as a multitude of other Oscars, including Best Actor, and I believe also Best Adapted Screenplay. And I remember when I first watched it, when I was in music class in elementary school, it just blew my mind away, and it's definitely the movie that made me become a huge fan of classical music. And of course, Mozart himself. And as many movies as I've seen since then, Amadeus has always just stuck out to me as an absolute masterpiece of cinema. And I still adore it to this day. So one of my favorite moments in the movie is when, after Salieri meets Mozart for the first time, and he goes up to this music stand that has Mozart's music, and he basically is describing it. And it's just absolutely stunning. And it goes, on the page, it looked nothing. The beginning simple, almost comic. Just a pulse, bassoons, basset horns, like a rusty squeeze box. And then suddenly, high above it, an oboe. A single note hanging there, unwavering, until a clarinet took it over, sweetened into a phrase of such delight. This was no composition by a performing monkey. This was music I'd never heard, filled with such longing, such unfulfillable longing. It seemed to me that I was hearing the voice of God. It's absolute, I love that moment. Just shows the power of music. And last thing I'll discuss today, my favorite, well, a TV show that I'm watching right now that's definitely one of my favorite shows I've ever seen. I'm still in the middle of watching it, but I'm recently getting into The Crown on Netflix, which depicts the tale of Queen Elizabeth II, Great Britain's monarch, current monarch, and just how she ascended to the throne, and just the world of Great Britain from the 1950s when she became queen up until now. And man, is the acting off the charts in this show. Good grief. Everyone is just stupendous in it. And again, the music, the visual style of it, the script. It's by Peter Morgan, who also helped write the movie The Queen, which won, I think it was nominated for Best Picture, and I can't remember if it won Best Picture, but it was definitely, an Oscar darling that year that it came out. And he just definitely knows his stuff about writing the British monarchy. And this show is just captivating from the first episode, and I definitely am recommending it to everyone because it's just absolutely fantastic. But yeah, that's my favorite movies and one of my favorite TV shows. Hope you all enjoy this. And thank you again to Sam for organizing all of this. Take care.
Hello everybody, hello everybody, hello everybody, hello everybody, hello everybody, hello everybody. My name
is Maddily ASMR, and welcome to the collab with Samuel One World Reviews. Today I am going to be talking about Star Wars, which is my favorite movie series. There are three trilogies. Episodes 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, 8, and 9. The original trilogy was 4, 5, and 6. The first movie ever made for Star Wars was called A New Hope, which many of you had probably seen. It stars Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Leia and Chewie and C-3PO and, R2-2, Darth Vader, all the goods. It is what brought Star Wars all of its attention. And of course, then they made 5 and 6. I don't know all the names of the episodes, I'm not that great. But after the movies 4, 5, and 6 were made, they made 1, 2, and 3. The prequels to 4, 5, and 6. And this is where they show Darth Vader's life, aka Anakin Skywalker. And it shows how Luke and Leia were born to Anakin Skywalker and Padme. They are not the best movies at all. They are very poorly made, very poor CGI, because that's when CGI was first coming out. But are they entertaining to watch? And does it show like young, hot, sexy Anakin and Obi-Wan and everybody? Yeah. Not the best movies though. Then, after that, a long while after that, in around 2015, they made 7, 8, and 9, which if you haven't seen them, I would highly recommend watching them, even if you haven't seen any of the other Star Wars movies. Although it would probably be really cool, if you were a Star Wars fan, then you watched 7, 8, and 9. I was a huge Star Wars fan, and when I watched 7 in the movie theater for the first time, I was starstruck. It was so good. Especially to see it in movie theaters, I was like, wow, I'm witnessing history right now. But 7, 8, and 9 is a relatively new storyline. It doesn't have the same, the exact same characters. You could watch it without watching anything else. It just has the same premise of the Star Wars universe and like the rebellion and all the bad people versus the good people, And it brings in new characters like Rey and Finn and Rose and Kylo Ren, aka Adam Driver, the hottest person alive. I love him, and I love those movies. I know a lot of people hate them and say that they were poorly directed and like didn't have some parts of the story weren't needed, but I loved it. I loved it. Just the whole Star Wars-esque. Very good. The 9th episode though does have some very sad and terrible things that happened, and the whole maybe I didn't like that one. But 7 and 8 are good. 9, not that good, but still good. But some of my favorite quotes from these movies is in the 3rd episode, Obi-Wan goes, "Hello there." And I do that all the time. I'll see someone, I'll be like, "Hello there." And not everybody gets it, but it's really funny. Also, something that not everybody knows, but in every single Star Wars movie, every single one, even in Rogue One and in Solo, they say, "I've got a bad feeling about this." Han Solo says it, BB-8 says it. It's so cute every time you hear somebody say it. But I love Star Wars so much, and I hope that maybe you guys will watch Star Wars, or maybe some of you guys are Star Wars fans out there. But I hope that you enjoyed my part of the collab, and I hope that you found something new about TV that you didn't know before, and I hope that you enjoyed the next person. Bye.
I just want to thank Sam for having me be part of the ASMR collab. This clip is for him and to share with you that I can't pick anything else as my favorite. So I had to say this. There's so many movies to say this. And this, the only one movie that I had to pick is Star Wars The Force Awakens. I know there's any other Star Wars I like to watch and see, and some old Star Wars trilogy and a prequels trilogy, but pick the seventh one because it follows the years of Return of the Jedi, and trailers look at the movie. First, I seen the trailer, it's looking good. It does look good. The that looks good, a lot better than the prequels. But the next two films went downhill. So I picked this because I watched it 7 times, and this is the mostly I watched recently. Now I'm going to be saying this quotes. Look how old you become. Something far worse happened to you. You know what I've come for. I know where you come from. Before you call yourself Kylo Ren, the map Skywalker, you know you have it. And now you will give it to the First Order. The First Order wars on the dark side. You cannot. I'll show you the dark side. You can try. But you cannot deny the truth. And that is your family. These are the quotes from the first part of the film, or first part of the film, which Kylo Ren and his men, Kylo Ren and Stormtrooper invaded Jakku, invaded the village in Jakku, which Poe Dameron has been captured from there. So this is a gross that's the one thing I had to share with you. So this is this is a very short clip, and I really do have a good night. And then again, thank you, Sam, for having me join in the collab.
Hi, I'm Ness from Satisfactory ASMR Dad. Today I have the pleasure of doing this very special video for Samuel One World Productions in his collab to discuss possibly our favorite movies and what we like about them. Now, I am a movie addict. I watch every genre: action, love, comedy, romance, sci-fi, you name it, foreign. I love them all, like with a passion, and I've rewatched a lot of things more than once. But if I have to say which one specifically is my favorite, all-time favorite movie that I've seen probably more than any others, it would be The Matrix. But this video is not about The Matrix. This video is about my second favorite movie, because it's a story about revenge. It's a story about love. It's a story about deception. And it has a ridiculous amount of action in it. And what movie am I talking about? I am talking about Kill Bill. Kill Bill, starring Uma Thurman, David Cassidy, Vivica Fox, amazing people, directed by the awesome and crazy, talented Quentin Tarantino. I speak like this movie touches home to me because it basically caught me completely off guard. Like, I wasn't expecting any of it. Now, I know Quentin Tarantino's movies are ridiculous, but Kill Bill to me is probably his best movie, in my opinion. I'm talking modern day, I'm not talking Pulp Fiction. I'm talking modern day, to me modern, because it came out when I was young, but modern day movie. The storyline, you know, Irma Thurman, which his real name is Beatrice, is in a coma for 4 years, and she wakes up from this coma to wreak havoc and revenge on all those that did her dirty, from her former life where she was an assassin. Now, she wasn't just triggered to gun assassin, she was an assassin with a blade, a katana, if I'm not mistaken. It's a ninja, it's a Japanese word for ninja sword. I love ninjas. It's just a thing, you know. See, everything's in black. I'm always dressed in black. Hint, hint. Ness likes ninjas. So, just watching that film, I fell in love with the story. I fell in love with the characters, you know. The way the movie moved from scene to scene as she got her revenge, and she checked off everyone on her list that she needed to get revenge on to finally just be free of all of that was done to her. It's breathtaking, breathtaking. I've never been one for revenge, but if that's the ultimate revenge, and you know, I'm not going to spoil too much of the movie because I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I was such a fan that I went out and I bought a replica of one of the swords from Kill Bill made by Hidari Hanzo. Now, don't be worried. This replica, it is made of metal. It is definitely heavy. It looks sharp, but it's not. I didn't order or get it sharpened, so it cuts. Don't get me wrong. You can definitely cut with this. Like if I swung this at someone, it would do some damage. You can hear this just a little bit. It's not ninja sword officially cut. I had it hanging up on my wall when I was younger. You know, the young man stage. I don't even know what to call it anymore. And I saw this replica, I think, for maybe $60 or $70 online on eBay or something like that. It took a few weeks to get here. I'm sure I could probably sharpen the edges if I wanted to, but I'm not. I have children in the house. I'm not gonna go crazy. And this is this staff, I think is called, where the knife is kept. But that's why I basically wanted to showcase this movie over The Matrix, which is my favorite movie of all time, and show you guys how much I love the Kill Bill and the story behind it. I see the movie just about 4 times a year consistently. If that's a little light, probably more than that. I own the DVD collection of it too. It's like one of those movies like Rocky when you're feeling down and you need to see someone win and triumph. Her revenge was a definite W. Yes, that is my favorite film from the movie, and I've gone past my limits. So thank you to Samuel One World, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate being a part of it. Thank you so much. Satisfactory ASMR Dad. Out.
ASMR here, and I am honored to be a part of this collaboration with Samuel. He asked us to whisper about our favorite movies and TV shows. And I don't generally watch a lot of TV, but I do have some all-time favorite movies and TV shows. The first TV show that I really enjoyed and still enjoy is Gilmore Girls. Gilmore Girls. I have watched that show probably 20 times all the way through, and I think there are seven seasons. So, and that show is eminently quotable, because the writing is just wonderful, and I use some of the quotes in that show all the time. One of my favorites is hockey puck, rattlesnake, monkey underpants. And if you've seen that show, then you know. And if you know, you know. Another favorite TV show of mine is Friends. I've seen every episode of that millions of times. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. I also really enjoyed The Haunting of Hill House from Netflix. I thought that was wonderfully done. So, let's see. Movies. Some of my all-time favorite movies are Dazed and Confused, Almost Famous. I really like The Exorcist. The Lord of the Rings movies. All of those are great. And the Matrix trilogy. I think those are my all-time favorites. Ones that I go back to again and again. I'm looking forward to hearing other people's favorite movies. Thank you, Samuel, for allowing me to participate in this.
Hello, I'm Sugar, and welcome. I just want to say a big thank you to Samuel One World Productions for having me take part in this awesome collaboration. and today I'm going to be talking about my favorite series, and that would be Naruto. Naruto, 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 Naruto. Naruto is a Japanese animation, and the main character, which is named Naruto, is it starts with him as a little boy who was an orphan and was rejected by the community, the Hidden Leaf village, because he was different. And what made him different was basically the fact that he had a QB, which was a demon fox, in him. I feel like I'm so terrible at telling stories or movies, but basically he was treated differently because of this, and also he was kind of feared. But he did not let that difference, that fear, or what people said about him to determine who he was, to determine what he got to be in life. He had dreams. He wanted to be the Hokage, and he became that because he persisted through it. There's just so much lessons to be learned from Naruto. I know people say, oh, it's animation, it's cartoon, it's just for kids. No, it is an amazing series that has lots of plots, lots of characters, lots of action scenes, lots of heartwarming scenes. It is just like everything in this life packed in one. And I'm not just saying that because it was the first anime series I ever watched. I'm saying that because even after I've watched hundreds of other anime series after Naruto, I still hold it in high esteem because it is just too epic. But he alone isn't what makes Naruto Naruto. Okay, that sounds very contradictory, but what I'm trying to say is that there's so many other characters. Naruto is so diverse in terms of all the characters involved, in terms of their skills, their ninjutsu, how they get to develop, how they get to grow, all the stories that intertwine, you know. Oh, this is nice. And then you get to see that the lessons being learned from Naruto is not just from him. You get to see lots of characters they get to develop throughout the series. I think I actually really love the fact that there is this gradual growth. It's so realistic to me that way. I've watched series when there's just like, you know, just like that. And you get to see maybe in the first 3 episodes, the main character struggling, and then 3 episodes ahead, boom, he's just amazing and got all the power-ups and all the quirks he needs to defeat the bad guys. But Naruto was just a gradual step. Like, I felt like I grew up with him. I grew up with his process. Not just him, but every character that got to grow in every episode and every season. It is so crazy how much lessons is just present in one series. If you haven't watched Naruto, please go check it out. It is amazing. I know I did not give justice to it because I was just rambling, and there's so many things involved that is just awesome. I can't put it in words, honestly. It's just, you have to watch it to feel it. No jokes, okay? So take care and bye.
Hello. My name is Sleepy Cath ASMR, and I love film and television so much. My favorite film of all time is Moulin Rouge, directed by Baz Luhrmann. I love his direction style so much. I've loved it ever since I was really young, and my sister let me watch it with her. thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. Come what may. Come what may. I will love you until my dying day. It's a musical, so I kind of have to sing some of the lines. My favorite TV show of all time may be a bit controversial because people were not happy with the ending. I'm one of the people who loved the entirety of the show, save for a couple of episodes, because firstly, it just changed television completely when it came out. It set the formula for what a lot of shows were during the 2000s. And also, this is so cheesy, but with this program, I truly believe that it was more to do with the journey. The big J word, journey of the characters rather than the plot. And I think the plot is so good, even though the loose ends aren't quite tied up. One of the most well-known quotes from this program, Lost. If any of you guessed it, my favourite TV show is Lost. Jack, in the first season, when he's doing this big motivational speech, which he does at least one of every episode, says, if we can't live together, we're going to die alone. If we can't live together, we're going to die alone. Jack is one of my least favorite characters. Another quote from Lost. Walt. If you know, you know. I'd like to say thank you to Sam for putting together this collab. He was one of the first ASMRists who reached out to me and made me feel so welcome. So I'm very grateful to him. And I hope you all have a wonderful sleep. Good night. Hello, my name is Summer ASMR. And I'm here to talk about my favourite movies and TV shows. So, I wouldn't say that I have a particular genre, but if I had to pick, I guess I would pick a mix-up between sci-fi and comedy, and that leads me on to my favourite film, which is Paul. P-A-U-L. Paul. And it's a really funny film. It's based around two guys that are on their way to a Comic-Con
actually reaches down, he looks him dead in the face before touching his space balls, and then Paul flips out, and he's like, "Get your hands off my junk." It's so funny. But honestly, if you want to watch a really funny comedy / sci-fi film, watch Paul. Also, I've been watching I think my all-time favourite TV show is The Big Bang Theory. I don't think anything is going to beat that for me. But lately, I just finished watching another TV show called Chicago Med, and that is really good. It's a medical drama. So yeah, if you like medical shows, I would suggest Chicago Med. And to be honest, there's one storyline in particular that really frustrates me, or one like ship that really frustrates me. There's a doctor called Will, I think his name is, and a woman called Dr. Manning, and like they just tease it for so long, the idea of them getting together, and it just never seems to happen until like I don't even know when they actually officially get together. It doesn't happen in the first season, I know that. Like, we spent like an entire season just waiting for them to get together, and it's so obvious that they like each other, but they like argue over the simplest of things, and it's so frustrating. Like, you just want to see them happy and you want to see them together. But I think my favourite character in Chicago Med is actually a psychiatrist called Dr. Charles, and he takes on a pre-med student who's called Sarah. But they kind of have a bit of a father-daughter bond, and it's quite sweet to see on television, because I think out of all the TV shows I've watched, they kind of have the most wholesome emotional bond, I guess. So yeah, but if you want a medical drama to watch, then Chicago Med is really good. So Paul, Big Bang Theory, if you haven't watched it, I don't know what planet you're living on, and Chicago Med, they are my favourites. I don't know what this was, but yeah, thank you so much for letting me be a part of this collaboration. Bye guys.
Hi guys, it's Tinglestorm ASMR. Thank you so much, Samuel, for inviting me to take a part in this collaboration. So my favorite movies and TV shows. My absolute favorite movie is The Crow. The Crow. This guy comes back after having been murdered to make revenge on those who killed him and his girlfriend. And my favorite quote is by Sarah, the younger girl, that basically kind of narrates the story at some points. And it says, "People once believed that when someone dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead. But sometimes something so bad happens that a terrible sadness is carried with it, and the soul can't rest. Then sometimes, just sometimes, the crow can bring that soul back to put that wrong things right." But everything about The Crow is just perfect. Like, every time I watch it now, I kind of know it by heart, but still I love it. Mother is the name of God on the lips and hearts of all children. Another movie that I really like is The Conjuring. I love horror movies. I love everything that is creepy, dark, and scary, but I'm not gonna say quotes from The Conjuring, because the things that scare most are the things that happen. The one that impressed me most was when the mother of the family went downstairs and there was a piano and she played 3 notes on the piano, and then after a couple days from downstairs, the piano played the same notes, but there was actually nobody downstairs, so that was like so freaking impressive. Another movie that I really like is 13. I watched it when I was actually 13. Titanic, of course, we all love Titanic, and every time I watch it, I always hope that he finds out that he can actually lay
house and be saved, but that never happens, you know. From Dusk Till Dawn, Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill 1, Kill Bill 2, Unglorious Bastards, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Talking about TV shows, when I was a child, I loved Charmed. I watched each and every single episode. Then I also loved Buffy a lot. Ozark. We really enjoyed Brotherhood. It's a Brazilian show that is on Netflix. It's very violent, so I wouldn't recommend it to sensitive people. It's in São Paulo, Brazil, in a very violent jail where there are very dangerous criminals that basically create this criminal organization, and they have contacts outside from other criminals, so they can really do their operations because they are against the police, which is actually corrupt and really violent. So they want to kind of make justice. I really love Dark, Stranger Things, El Recluso. I watched it lately and it ended up being kind of fun. There is this character that is like very crazy, and his name is Santo, and he is bald and has no teeth, and he's like a drug addict. But the fact is that when you Google the cast, the actual actor behind the character Santo is actually super hot, like a model, and he really played the part really well. Another TV show that I totally like is Homeland, Tiny Pretty Things, Messiah, and I hope there will be another season because I'm really curious, like, is he really the Messiah or is he just a very smart person? I need to find out. The Valhalla Murders, which is an Icelandic TV show. Hunters, I loved it with Pacino. Of course there is much more, but I can't recall all of them right now, and this video would be endless, so thank you so much, Samuel, for this opportunity.